Next up is our fig beetle iridescence, which is a beautiful greenish yellow. It's just beautiful. But how to do that? So we started with just painting the pure yellow, in this case, Aureolian yellow. Could use Hansa yellow as well, just a nice bright neutral yellow. And then you can see I did just a little bit of the edges with a dull yellow, which I explain in the captions on how to do that. There's a margin on the beetle's wings. So how do we make that beautiful green iridescence? The first thing we're going to do is actually called glazing. We're going to glaze the pure cyan blue over the yellow, and that's going to create this lovely, lovely green. But we're going to try to reserve some of these areas in here with the bright yellow, because that will help with the contrast. Now, I don't want to go all the way to the edge because I'm going to reserve some of that for the dull yellow. And I want to leave some of the very top part. But I can, since this is a lifting color, I can pull that out using a little more water. So this maintains the brightness there. Let's go in on the other side. To facilitate, I'm going to wet this. This is going to help blend when I want to leave a little bit of the bright spots, so it's not quite so hard of an edge. It might take several layers for us to get this done. I'm going to go in and try to blend that a little bit. There we go. This is going to take several layers. I'm going to wet this a little bit. See those jewel tones really start popping. It's okay to leave it a little variegated. You don't want it to be super solid. To get this leg in here. I'm going to see if I can lift a little bit. And you can even go in and add a tiny bit of yellow on top to help facilitate the shimmer. And there's a little bit showing through here. I'm going to drop in some of the blue right in here, but really dark. And then the rest of that we're going to do pretty dark. While this is drying, I'm going to go in and kind of darken up some of these areas using a indanthrone, really, really dark, and burnt sienna to make that black. That actually helps enhance the iridescence a little bit too. And then that wing, well, you want to reserve some of the brightness, the whites. So this is a carcass. So there's a wing that's sort of sticking out of the carcass here. We're going to just put a little bit in there to show that. Otherwise, I think I'm going to leave it. I don't want any other distractions. Right. Still needs to dry a little bit, so I'm going to let that dry. And one of the tricks is we're going to drop in much purer blue around the edges to help darken here. And then that will help this really pop and give it more definition. This actually, first of all, needs another pass of the blue. There, that's nice. And then we're going to have to let that dry. So I just got this as mostly clear water because I want that to blend. I just did a blork there, so I'm going to try to, there, I picked that off. Okay, that's good. All right, now we're going to let this dry. All right, I've let it dry a little bit, but not completely dry, because now I want to add more of the pure blue, but much darker, because I want that to create the illusion of form. And it also just really enhances the jewel tones, like so. Clean out that brush. And then with a clean brush, I'm going to blend that edge. Maybe just a tiny bit more water. See how that makes that pop. So much more pure blue. Let's create more of a definition and an edge. I'm getting it wetter because I want to grade that color now. Now I'm cleaning it off. And with a clean brush, I'm blending that edge. A little bit more water. Blending. Let's blend that just a little more. You can always lift that later or right now with a clean brush. There, I lifted that a little bit. See, that works really, really well. So going back here, nice pure blue. Edge of the head here. Now, cleaning the brush, clear water. There, getting that to bleed and blend. Don't want a hard edge. And I want to clear this area here. That looks better. See how that's done now? That's looking really good. I like that. Get that blork off there. I think that's going to dry beautifully. This is a little bit of a hard edge here. We can go in with a tiny bit of blue. Actually, I'm going to grab a little bit of the yellow as well and just kind of blend that a little bit. See how I'm feathering? So as you can see, the secret are layers. Glazing, which is what this was called, when you have a dry layer and then you put a wet layer over it. And then you just do layer after layer after layer. It's best if you really want very pure color to let them dry in between. I wanted a little bit more blending, so I did that. Now I'm going to let this dry and then we'll see how it looks. All right, our beetle has dried really nicely. Look at that. That really shows that glowing, iridescent green yellow. Let's take a little bit of a closer look with the camera here. Yeah, I really like that. That shows so much the beautiful glowing color. I don't think I would do anything with that. I think that's really right where you want to be. So as you can see, iridescence is actually fairly simple. It's layers, it's letting the watercolor show through in a beautiful, transparent way and letting the paper glow through. That's really, really nice.